But we've got sharp shadows in here, sharp shadows out here, but the problem is the light is coming from this direction. Alright, so I'm going to take you through a retouch of this image we're going to put up on Instagram. The image itself was taken in Taipei, in Taiwan, but I thought the architecture of the building really felt like it could be in the middle of a desert, not unlike a scene from Aladdin, so I'm going to do kind of a bit of a fantasy desert scene with this shot. But like I said, it's for Instagram, so it's not going to be super non-destructive workflow, but just kind of a quick edit. So we're going to start off by zipping into the crop tool. So we've got a custom ratio 4:5, which gives traditional format, but really good for Instagram. Keep as much of the width of the frame as we can, and make sure she's in a good spot. All right, that looks about right. Okay, perfect. So first thing we're going to do is we're using Affinity Photo, so we're going to go into the selection persona, and we're going to use the Smart Selection brush. Now, luckily, it was a super bright day. So a lot of the area out here that's, the sky's kind of blown out, makes it really easy for selection. Now I'm just making the selection so that we can put the desert scene in and have it kind of spill over into the interior of the building a little bit. Alright, so that's a pretty good selection there. So we've selected the sky because it's a little bit easier to select, but that's actually the part that we want to get rid of. So we're going to go up to invert the selection, and now we're going to refine that selection. Good. So everything in red is going to be the part that's see-through, everything else is going to be what remains. Alright, so we're going to do, normally it says a selection, but a new layer with mask is what we want to do here. And we'll accept that. We've got a back plate that's already selected, so we're going to go Photo Persona, Place Image. Okay, so I've got a nice desert scene here. And I'm just clicking and drawing to put in this desert. Alright, so we're going to drag this layer below the layer mask. It's going to be our new background. So one problem we've got right now, you can kind of see that in this image the light is hitting this side of the model's face, and then this side over here is in shadow. So that just tells us the directionality of the light is coming from this direction. Now we want this to be as consistent as possible. Now outside, we've actually got the exact opposite. We've got hard contrasty lighting, which is great, so that's going to look consistent. It's not like an overcast sky with contrasty lighting in there, which doesn't quite make sense. But we've got sharp shadows in here, sharp shadows out here. But the problem is the light is coming from this direction. You can see that this side of the dunes is bright, and the other side is falling into shadow. So really easy fix. We're just going to take this image, make sure we're on the move tool. We're going to go over here into the transform, and we're just going to flip that vertically. So now, back to our brush. Okay, so now what we've got is light directionality is coming this way, hitting the model, and we've got consistency with the dunes as well. That's exactly what we want. Now we're going to just move this around again until we get something that looks... I want a little bit of drama with the sky, we can make this a bit... Yeah, some nice high dramatic dunes. Alright, so now let's convert to black and white. So we're going to go into our adjustments, do a black and white adjustment, and now it's good. It is going to be brighter outside than it is inside, but I'm still just going to darken the sky. We're going to grab that blue channel and really drop it down. Get the sky nice and dramatic. And then the color of the sand is mostly in the red and yellow channels, so I think we'll actually keep it nice and bright and contrasty. Yeah, somewhere in there looks pretty good to my eye. So the problem we've got here, a bit of a transition problem down here. We're in a palace. It's obviously not going to open up right into the desert, but I think that's that kind of makes it have that fantasy feel where it's like just in the middle of nowhere rather than kind of city all around it. Well, I'm going to have a little bit of kind of sand spilling into here a little bit. We'll put some blowing sand in, and to do that we've got some images that we're going to place again. So we're going to go up to our back plates, place from cloud. Let's grab that. We're going to grab another one. They're black and white, which is going to fit this quite nicely, but they're shot on a black background, which is going to help a lot. Now, the only problem that I foresee, the edge here is going to be a little bit sharp, so we're just going to blend that a little bit, maybe get rid of this little guy here. This one looks all right. We're going to get rid of the hard edges, specifically around this one here. We're going to take this image, I'm going to put a layer mask on it, grab our brush tool, make that black, try on the mask, good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab a textured brush, got a painting brush here, going to drop that flow down, make the brush quite a bit bigger, just get rid of this really hard edge up here. Alright, we're not worried about all the black, and I just want to kind of have it fall off gradually there. Okay, so that looks alright to me. I'm going to do the same thing on the other two images. Put a layer mask in. Alright, get rid of that guy. That one actually looks pretty good. Get a layer mask for the third one. And do the same thing. I'm just going to blend that in a bit. Okay. We've got those. These are just going to be little wispy pieces of sand. So what we're going to do is, right now the only problem we've got is it's too black. So we're going to take this image, change the blend mode from normal, go down to screen. What that's going to do is take all of the black areas of the image and just blend it into the back. So only the areas that are lighter are going to appear through in the final image. So we're going to do that for sand dune number 2. And also for sand 3. Sand 1, that's why. Change that guy to screen. Okay, perfect. Back to the move tool. And we're going to move these guys down. I'm just going to move these two off screen for a second. Change the size, duplicate a couple times. Change the shape and direction. Okay, so it looks like we have some sand blowing in. Do the same thing here. We're going to group all these guys. Create a group. Now we can move this group around wherever looks best. And now I love that it's super sharp, but what we're going to do, we're going to soften this a little bit. So we're going to apply a Gaussian blur. Just to the sand layer. Okay, so super sharp. Just give it a bit of motion. Then we've got to go back up, change this to screen again. Great, and let's just play with the opacity with that layer. Great, somewhere in there looks good. Now we're going to layer mask this guy. Grab that brush again. And we are going to brush away just a little bit of this layer mask. Alright, just give it a little more of the appearance of sand. Good. And I did darken it, so I'm going to just bring the opacity back up a bit. Okay. Now, just a little bit distracted to this area down here, and I might change my mind later, but my eyes drawn just a little bit to this area here. It's a nice triangle, and it is kind of pointing in a cool direction, but I'm just going to see how it looks if we get rid of it. So I'm going to select these guys, I'm going to merge. Okay, so now we're going to just duplicate that layer. Excellent. And just do a little bit of in-painting brush to get rid of some of these imperfections here. The clean door looks better. Yeah, I think I like it without, just keep that red carpet kind of going everywhere. All right, so that's more or less it. We're just gonna do a really quick curves adjustment layer. Collab, lightness, and we're just gonna drop this down a little bit. Go back up, empty layer mask, and now we're just gonna brush in parts that we want to see of that effect, because we don't want the whole image darker. Just gonna use a standard brush here, very low flow, and very soft, very large. Just gonna use this to dodge and burn some areas we want darker and lighter. It's the same deal, gonna go to lightness channel. Bump this up a bit, and then empty layer masks, just the part that we want are going to be painted in. Back to our brush, and we're just going to draw a little bit around her. Just to lighten her up a little bit. So, not much, pretty subtle. It just changes the way your eye is guided through the image. Alright, so there's our before image. There's our after image. So, nice quick retouch for Instagram. Then we're just going to flatten this image. Like I said, we're not doing non-destructive editing. I'm not going to come revisit this and change the masks later on. Again, it's just for Instagram. If we are printing it, obviously I would have a different workflow that's non-destructive. We can change a lot. I'm just going to blend these two a bit more. Okay, we are happy with that. So now we're going to flatten that image. Just do one last check. Looks good. So we're going to flatten this image and export it. Hey, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notifications. If there's a specific video you'd like to see, please leave a comment below and I'll try to get to it.